Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Recruitment Uncensored with me, as usual, because I'm the host. And I've
Yeah,
got another amazing guest today. I've got David on with me to talk about using video to build your brand and win more business, which I'm a
that's right.
massive fan of video, like a huge fan of video. But I know for a lot of you watching, video will scare the absolute shit out of you. So we were talking about this before we were going live. What I would say is while we're watching, put your comments and questions in because I'll bring up as much as I can. But get your pen and paper ready because I know David's got loads of value to share today. But the whole reason
Hopefully.
I asked you on, David, is I've what you pop up on my feeds quite a lot, and
Yeah,
your videos make me laugh every like for the right reasons, obviously, every
good.
single time. Like they're just
That's
fucking
good.
hilarious. I love them. So that's why I
All
thought
right.
I've got
Well,
to get you on.
yeah. Oh no, I really appreciate it. I think the first time I actually saw your profile was when you were I think it's when you were announcing the kind of the business and what you're doing and the training and stuff like that. And I think you was in your PJs maybe, and you was just like, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna set this up and I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing. And I was like, that's cool that you just like you're happy to just go, bam. I'm not even bothered about not what it looks like, because that makes it sound like it didn't look good, but it's just very
Yeah.
original and honest, and it's not in any way manicured or overly tailored or whatever. And almost like a bit of kind of, to an extent, kind of taking the piss out yourself a little bit, and that's kind of how I like to do it as well.
Yeah, that's why I like your videos because you're not afraid to take the piss out of yourself, which is what I do all the time. I was
Yeah.
probably in my dressing gown, most
Maybe.
likely, my favorite
Yeah,
dressing gown, which I haven't got on today.
yeah,
But yeah, let's get started. 'Cause I know that we've got some like meaty stuff to cover off, but as I said, if you're watching live, chuck your comments and questions in. If you are watching this afterwards, just write them anyway because we can respond to them later. So either
mm,
way, get engaged with us for sure. But first thing I wanted to ask you was because obviously you
yeah,
can post lots of different content on LinkedIn, right? It's not just video.
of
Why
course.
did you choose video in particular to help you build your personal brand?
It's mainly because like over I suppose it's mostly over like COVID really is like where these kind of uh, like comedians started to become quite famous off the back of doing their own little videos. So I don't know if you know
Yeah,
Josh Pugh, a guy from Coventry who did a lot of that kind of stuff over COVID, and now he's like touring the UK as a stand-up comedian. A guy called Jack Skipper does the same, and I love a lot of American guys who do similar stuff. And then people like I don't know if you ever come across Corporate Natalie, a lady called Natalie
no,
Marshall over in the States. She's probably the goat of this kind of thing. She's very much more not to do with recruitment. She might have been HR or something like that in the past, but she's does quite well on LinkedIn. But the Instagram, the TikTok stuff is all about. She did a lot working from home stuff. Trying to manage people whilst on Zoom, dealing with Gen Zers, all this kind of thing. And she is now just, millions upon millions of followers. And I think that's her life really, is to do that. And I was just like, I've got a bit of that in me. And I've always loved just, comedy in general. And I thought, okay, if I can bring
yeah,
that to LinkedIn, then, I'm not necessarily building any value, am I? But I'm getting eyes on me. And really, that's what a lot of the best personal brands on LinkedIn are, is having eyes on them. And then when you see someone like Tom Boston, who is obviously more of a salesperson than a recruiter, of course, and seeing the engagement that someone like him gets off more so comedy videos, I just thought, why not give it a go, And
give it a go. Yeah,
if it dies a death, who cares? Enough people have laughed at me instead of with me in my time in my life. So let's just give it a blast. I'm kind of past really caring what people think, and thankfully, most of them, fingers crossed, that'll continue. Most of them have got good engagement, and long may that continue, I suppose.
you think though, you said like then you're not given any value.
Yeah,
I think it's probably easy to think that, but your videos are funny and there's a comedy element to them, but I suppose there is some value in there because like recruit for example, like recruiters are your target market as well as obviously the agency owners, same as me actually,
yeah,
pretty much, right? But they can like when they can sort of resonate and relate with what like you did that one recently about there was two actually, the office banter one, and there was another
Yeah.
one. Was it the paddleboarding or something? Was it that?
Yeah,
Like the hobbies,
pedal
how
tennis,
fixated
hobbies.
like hobbies. Like people will feel understood. Like
Yeah.
from, do you know what I mean? So there is value in it, not as the
Yeah.
value you might think, but I think there is that value in it.
Yeah, I think, trying to my best is kind of take something that you would potentially, that recruiters hopefully would resonate with, and just taking it to that next level where there's a bit of extra humor, behind it. Essentially, I've worked with recruiters and salespeople for over 10 years, so there's a hell of a lot of humor within the recruitment and sales office that you can kind of tap into, and hopefully people think, oh, either, oh shit, I see a bit of that in me, maybe I'm a bit like that, or maybe I'm a bit too competitive, but that's a funny thing, and it's a good thing that you recognize that it's something that is within a lot of the better recruiters and salespeople at the end of the day. So ultimately, to really answer that question, number one is because I really enjoy it myself, enjoy watching it. Number two, I actually realized quite quickly that I enjoyed doing it. Because it was something a little bit different, and when you see the finished product, you're quite proud that you put that time and effort into it. And number three is really nobody else is really doing it. There's a very few people in recruitment anyway that are doing anything like that. I reckon I'm one of maybe only 5 less people.
I don't see any videos like yours, proper. I think there's probably one. Do you know Alex Dick?
Yeah, so Alex Dix does a lot of like pictures, and he's kind of almost like a caricature of himself almost to an extent.
Yeah.
So
Dominic does a lot of videos who helps him with his social media. I know there's a couple of other people, but they don't do them as often as you, and in fact, they don't do them as often anymore. So you're probably one of the only ones I see that do them like that on my feed.
Yeah, Will Grashoff was probably the one. I don't know how you say his surname. I apologize.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
But,
yeah.
So he's done some that have got incredible content using green screen a lot, and he even had a guy who would write the script for him, like a guy who's a comedy actor, I'm pretty sure, who kind of worked alongside him for a while. And that was the one where I thought, oh, okay, I can do spins on things like that.
Some of his videos have been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so good. He's got his full office involved there, which I should probably try a little bit more, but I don't think these guys fancy getting involved, so I just have to play all the characters myself.
Yeah. Well, we have had a comment come in. I don't know if Louis works with you, but one for you. How are you so refreshingly laid back for a man with such responsibility?
So me and Louis have just created this back and forth where all we do is it Deborah, is it?
Yeah, it's on the. Can you see it on the screen?
I can see it now. So we've got into a little bit of a thing, me and Louis, and then Luke's done exactly the same thing as well. Is we just comment office quotes on each other's comments anytime that they put a post up. So that's where that comes from. A little bit of inside jokes there by the looks of things. So yeah, the same. So yeah, I think the office has been.
I saw that come in about 10 minutes or 5 minutes ago, and I was like laughing because I thought this is probably a bit of office banter going on here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've managed to keep that going for quite a while. I don't know how, even though there's only however many episodes of The Office, but we've managed to keep just solely office quotes in each other's comments to do with the content that they posted as well. So yeah, funny one. Cheers, Luke.
Love that. Okay, so we've covered off like why video. I know this is going to be something on people's minds, and I know it's something that you're considering with this as well. Is how do you turn that engagement into the end result? What we want basically is more clients, more candidates.
Yeah, I think that like I posted when I was saying that I was doing this on Mondays, that this is not something I'm by any means an expert on. No, I can tell you I've made tens of thousands of pounds in fees from doing this, and follow my way of doing it, and you're going to do the same. I'm massively in the shit with this right now, trying to work out how to best do it. I think first and foremost, you'd be able to, on every post, you can see the analytics of the post. You can see who's reacted. what kind of connection they are, first, second, third, and you can see who's commented as well. Be mindful that not everybody who comments reacts, so sometimes you get a few extra people from the comments as well, and you can see what industries they're in. You can see what locations they're in, a few other filters as well. So I first and foremost, just very simply, I go on every post. I would, if you have, depends what space you're in, but generally the engagement that is quote kind of useful to me is recruiters and recruitment founders in Manchester and London. So I'm going location Manchester and London, and I'm just scrolling through. I maybe get about 20 to 30% of people within that bracket in most of my engagement. I can see who I haven't connected with, and I can connect with those people that are second engagements. That does take a little bit of time. There's no way of kind of automating that or doing it quickly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, you've got to left click, tab, profile, connect, and that kind of thing. Takes a little bit of time, but like you say, is worth it. And again, it depends if you've got a little bit of automation that could help with this. I don't know. But trying to get a message out to people who, whether you haven't spoken to them ever or haven't spoken to them for a long time, that you see come up that could be useful, like I say, to you. Quick message, thanks for the engagement, how are you getting on? Again, it's not it's not like you're trying to pitch them a role or anything like that, but in the starting of that conversation, you might just be able to go, oh,
you might naturally lead on to it.
Yeah, or I've been struggling a little bit this quarter, to be honest, Dave. Okay, great. You're willing to listen to something. I've got this. What do you think? So you never know off the back of that what's going to come. And from a client perspective, probably the same. Making sure you're engaging. Even again, thank them for the engagement. I probably think what I need to be doing more of is putting those people that have engaged with me into some sort of cadence whereby I'm giving them a call every month, because there's people there now who know your face and know my face and know who I am. I need to be getting out to them and saying, you know who I am, and at least from that call, at least from that, I know that call is going to be just a level warmer than.
It's warm, isn't it?
Yeah, you've never heard or spoke or seen me before. Not saying they're going to thank me for the call and give me all the jobs, are they? But at least still, it's just a little bit of a warmer conversation than just being, who are you?
I think though, what a nice opener for a call though. If you know they've engaged with one of your funny videos, what a nice opener to a call. Just having a laugh about that. It just makes it so much warmer and easier to start chatting.
Yeah, 100%. And I'd play. Of course, you get those where someone's looked at your profile or off the, somewhere close to when you posted a video, and I've rang them up and said, you looked at my profile recently and you haven't got a clue who I am or what I do. That still happens, of course, but most of the time you've just got a little bit of something to go off, which is all you're asking for. I think maybe I had all these grand plans of when I started doing this is once the engagement gets up, people are just going to be ringing me all the time and offering me to work on the jobs. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be inundated with all these jobs from founders of recruitment businesses that like my content. It doesn't work like that. I realize now all really I'm using it is just to warm those calls up a tiny little bit, and that's all you can ask for. Like I don't know how most recruiters feel about it, but I don't like my cold calling blocks. I'm thinking about I'm gonna do it in 15 minutes. I'll do it in half an hour, whatever. But if I know that at least someone recognizes me or maybe my name on my face or whatever, then it just makes it that little bit less painful.
Yeah, well, you feel better about picking up the phone when you think, well, they do know who I am because they've viewed my profile or they've commented on something. They are going to know who I am. It's not a completely cold call. I didn't know 100%. You could, when you look at the the analytics of a post, I didn't know you could filter it down to geography.
Yeah, so I'll
really
go on and we can almost, I suppose, talk it through. I'm not gone off screen, have I?
No, you're still there.
Yeah, cool. Just so I know, I can kind of describe exactly where it is. So, if I had to go on to one of my own posts, hopefully the sound won't come up or anything like that. But so where it tells you the number of impressions, you can go view analytics there, and then through that you can go to you got reactions. Social engagement is the heading there.
Yeah.
You can go to the reactions, and then where there's a reaction drop down. You can go by job title, industry, location, seniority.
Oh,
There's a few
wicked.
other filters that I haven't really used, but at least then, if your remit is within a certain geography, then you
You can
can
be really
select that.
specific.
Yeah, you can select
Yeah, I did not know
location.
that.
Yeah, so that's definitely really useful. And that way, at the bottom there, it comes across everyone who's reacted, and obviously tells you the relationship or the connection level that you have with them. And that's where I'm choosing all the seconds, tabbing them up, connecting with them, and that's kind of building the network as well.
Do you find that, like with your content, do you find like some does better with candidates, some does, do you know what I mean? There's certain type of video, some does better with clients, or do you get like an even split of engagement with your videos?
I suppose because there's more of them, isn't there? Then it's going to be more candidate led. I think to start with, I tried to create this kind of almost like having a go at clients type of way of doing things, but in a funny way. I don't think that worked very well, to be fair, but I think some people saw a bit of that within themselves and therefore still find it funny because they were able to laugh at themselves almost to an extent, like as a rec to rec specifically, where a recruitment founder might be saying that it's not good enough that a client doesn't pay them on time and then not pay us on time as their rec to rec type of thing, Try to have that. But
Yeah.
I sort of did pivot quite early on because it was a bit too having a go at people, I suppose. But certainly now I think, like I say, because there's more of them, it is candidates. But I'm seeing, plenty of recruitment founders and recruitment directors either just view my profile or they have engaged with it a fair amount, which is brilliant. And again, like I say, that's where I need to myself be utilizing that engagement to go out and try and win the
Yeah.
business.
It's the follow-ups that are so key. And we were
Yeah.
talking about this before we went live. I find sometimes like an agency owner, for example, can be engaging with loads of my content, like liking it, commenting, and won't reach out. And as soon as I
Yeah.
reach out, it's like it's like all of a sudden they want to talk. They're really keen. It's like you're thinking, why haven't you messaged me already? But I think sometimes like people, well, also they're busy and maybe it's not top of their agenda, but I think sometimes it takes you doing those follow-ups and that outreach. It's not that people don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's just they haven't had the chance to, or it's making it happen, isn't it?
Yeah, there is that, and I think there's an element of, at the end of the day, if you're calling, founders specifically of recruitment businesses, as we do, there's going to be an element of ego there as well. They want people to come to them. They don't want to go to people and almost be asking for not help, but so I think you're exactly right there. Like there's a couple of, especially around Manchester, people that I know now know who I am and consistently like the stuff. I even saw the guy the other day because the office, I was thinking, okay, I understand that I've got to go to you now. We're kind of in different spaces right now, and I'm not quite working that market. But I would have thought at some point he would have said, "Dave, have you got anyone for us? We're looking for this," but he never has. So yeah, I think you're exactly right there. You still got to go and knock on their door because they need to feel like you're coming to them almost to an extent. Might not be the case in every sector, but I certainly think if you're dealing with people who are at heart salespeople, they're obviously very good at what they do because they own their own business, then you have to be the one to reach out. And that's where I've got to start knocking on a few more doors for sure myself.
Yeah, I think none of us are perfect. And with business development in particular, like I know I'm behind on some of my BD stuff at the moment. I know I am. Do you know what I mean? So we're all, none of us are perfect and on it all the time. It's like, but the follow-ups I think are the one thing sometimes I think you can get sucked into chasing the new. See those new people that have engaged with your videos and you forget like I have to keep following up with the ones that I'm chipping away at. It's just a balancing act, isn't it? Just got so much to do. And having the time to film the videos in the first place to get out on the content out on your social media. That's a thing in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a hard one because I don't think there's ever going to be a point in recruitment. I mean, maybe some founders are going to see if they can somehow see the value in it, which is very hard because it's so far down the line. I don't think you're ever going to get a content creation block within your candidate calls and your BD, which is why you see I'm in here on the weekends until God knows what time, sometimes after work, trying to film daft stuff. So that's just part of it. I've chosen that's what I want to do. That is one of the the ways that I want to try and stand out on LinkedIn. So you just kind of got to kind of swallow that pill and say, right, I'm going to do it outside of work. Then you forget about all the editing as well, but that's a different thing altogether with that. So yeah, exactly. So you just that's something that's going to be time consuming. If you want to do something a bit different, it's not going to be easy at the end of the day. So part and parcel of it. But yeah, trying to find the time to do the follow-ups is a huge thing, and definitely something that I've slipped on, like you say, chasing the new.
We've had a really good question come in. It's a meeting, right? So I am going to come to our next question because it's about people that get nervous in front of the camera. But this is a really good question I'm going to bring up. It might be one we have to fully cover off the session. So Rachel said, I remember the cricket one actually. Is there a strategy with your business due to the successful engagement of your post? Actually try and find a way to leverage it as a business somehow, or are you left to your own devices having it as a personal brand? Also, well, the time one we've sort of covered off, haven't we, already? But is there a so I've got like a content strategy planner thing. Well, when where I've got all my posts laid out, or do you just think, oh, that'd be funny, I'll do that. Do you know what I mean? Do you actually have that sort of strategy behind
it? Strategy is that I'll be disappointed if I don't do one a week. I generally have, which is a good thing, I generally have more ideas than videos. So I've got a backlog. So whether that's kind of like the notes section within the phone, I could be walking along, walking the dog, and something just pops into the mind. Notes on the phone.
So we can actually see each other. There we go. Carry on. Sorry.
I've got almost like a little black book that I have on my desk, so that anytime someone says something stupid in the office, or a candidate says something that I think could be turned into something funny, or a client says something frustrating that could turn into something, every time that the book gets open, it just gets written down. I always have to remind myself to make sure that I explain what that kind of almost like that headline means underneath, because I've got some stuff where I'm just like, this is just the ramblings of a madman, like different stuff that I wouldn't even be able to put an example necessarily, but I think once, like when I first started it, all it said was recruitment version of I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, and I didn't put anything else, and so I didn't know what that really meant like a week down the road. So as far as strategy is concerned, it's just either I always have it in my mind to do it on the weekends, but sometimes weekends can get away from you, as you know, and you need that time for yourself. But if I can come into the office, because I don't live far away, and I can do maybe 2 or 3 hours, just a block there, film it, get it done, and edit it kind of when I can, then I will. Sometimes I stay after hours. Sometimes if I know, okay, this one's not going to take too long because it's just me as one individual acting out something. If it's going to take longer, like maybe the LinkedIn police one, that's 2 characters that have got different costumes and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be a little bit more time consuming. We're not leveraging it really as a business. The guys kind of leave me to my own devices because it's my voice and it's my way of doing it, and I don't know if I'd want it to do that either, because I don't want to have to change the way in which I do it to try and match the business's brand or anything like that.
And it benefits the business anyway, doesn't it? So
yeah, exactly. And I use Virtus sometimes within it. If it's the football manager one was the manager of Virtus Talent, so the business comes into it in a certain way, but I think they're happy for me to kind of continue with my own ideas and stuff. And like I say, the reason why perhaps I haven't had anyone else be involved in the videos is because I don't want them not to do it the way that I want it to be done. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. You. So the leverage piece is kind of, Rachel, what we did discuss is something that, again, I'm trying my best to actually work out myself, and trying to make sure that I'm constantly engaging proactively with the people who engage with the post, whether that be over the phone or through LinkedIn messages or whatever it may be.
Well, let's move on to the lap. We've eaten into time a little bit, so we'll make this one short and sweet. No, it's my fault because I brought the question up, but I thought it was a really good question. So I thought people watching will probably be thinking the same thing. But for this one, because I speak to people all the time, and I'm like, you need to get on video. Like they're posting about their jobs in that old school format, for example. I'm like, just do it on a video. And people are like, okay, I can't put myself on video. I'm shitting myself or whatever. So what would
Yeah.
be your like short, quick advice for people that are
Yeah.
like super nervous about doing the sort of stuff that you do?
Sure, absolutely. So, first things first, doing kind of the thing that I do is not for everyone. There's loads of different ways to utilize video at the end of the day. I think first of all, if you're only doing the old school jobs and really interesting opportunity, salary, hybrid working, blah blah
Yeah,
blah. First and foremost, you've got to get yourself on there. You've got to show yourself. Loads of people have amazing personal brands simply through posting pictures just of themselves. They don't even do that much video. So I'm thinking like Sophie Allen, for example, amazing personal brand. A lot of that comes through pictures rather than video, and it's just because people are seeing her, therefore they're linking that picture with her and her personal brand, and etc., and she's the person that they go to because they feel like they know her because they see her all the time. So it doesn't have to be a selfie or anything. You know, if you're like 30 odd year old bloke like me, you don't want to do a selfie because that's more linked like Gen Z type of stuff, then just do it. Start off with like a how was your weekend, for example, right? But make sure you're in the pictures, whether you're playing paddle, or you're going on a walk, or you're doing something with your partner, whatever. Make sure you're in the pictures because people need to start to see your face, because that's how they start to think, or they start to kind of get to know
be
you
familiar
almost,
with
right?
you.
If they're seeing you, maybe go into maybe something which you consider a little bit more cringy, maybe like an action shot in work or something like that, and the content for that could be something that has happened with a candidate call or a client call, and this is what happened today. It doesn't have to be funny. It can be adding more value. You know, a candidate said this to me and I thought it was really good because of this, or a bit of an interview tip that's come up, or a CV tip. You've seen something really good on a CV that you want to talk about on the content. You're not quite ready to do a video, but make sure still we're seeing you, and your face is really important. You want to be seeing that every single week, so all the time people are seeing your face, and you know, to ultimately you want to get them to think of you when they need something from, or when they need the service that you provide. Ultimately, if you want to do a job pick, just like you said, hold the whiteboard up next to a whiteboard, whatever it may be, write down those bits of the job that you would usually just put in bullet points on your post. And then again, you're involved in the picture, in the post, is important. And then, okay, if we're going to go to video, the next thing is you got to just get in front of the camera. You got to practice what you're going to say. So let's say we're going to do a job. This is the job. This is the salary. This is why you should work for these people in this company, etc., etc. This is why they're a great brand. This is what they're going to be doing. So write yourself out a little bit of a script, get in front of the camera and do it. The first one is going to take you fucking ages to do. You're going to be messing up. You're going to be nervous.
I can vouch for that.
Even though it's just you in front of the camera, you're going to be nervous. You're going to be messing up. You're going to be going blah, 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 like all the time. And that first one is probably going to take you like, I remember doing one a while ago, an hour. It took me an hour just to say 45 seconds worth of content, right? And it is definitely going to do shit as well. So don't worry about the
I was going to say, it probably won't perform well either.
Yeah, it won't do well because it's not really adding any value, but all we're doing is getting you started on that. But keep doing it, and you'll get something from it eventually. I think maybe the next one to do, can you get out there and can you do a walk and talk? Maybe you're walking dog down the canal. There's nobody there. It's just you and the dog. All you have to do is get your phone out.
I don't do enough of that, actually. I'm always in my house.
Yeah, so Billy Greenall, former colleague of mine, he's now out in Miami, absolutely smashing it. He loves to do these ones. Okay, this is what's going on in the market right now. This is what we've got. This is what we're seeing. This is the candidate that I've got. That could be a minute or two, and you probably lose yourself in the amount of time that you are doing because you realize, oh, I've got stuff to talk about here, and all you're doing is walking along. You've got nothing else to do. No one's there. Just give it a go. And then other things that you could do, and maybe whether you're taking it to the next level, you could do if you wanted to do a funny one, you could do one of these TikTok style ones where you're you're lip syncing something funny that's from TikTok. If you're more into that kind of stuff, there's a guy called Mike Martindale. He's a recruiter, an engineering recruiter. He does that every single day, and it's really good, actually, to be fair. He doesn't do any acting or talking really too much himself. He does a lot more of the kind of lip syncing stuff, which is really good. And then just start getting creative. The other thing is steal ideas from people, right? TikTok, socials, whatever it may be. 4 months ago, nobody's going to remember what he did 4 months ago. So just flipping steal it and change it a little bit into recruitment or whatever it may be. So I suppose baby steps is the big one.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to come back to you for a top tip. It's 1 o'clock, so we're definitely going to run over, right? But
Yeah.
just wanted to introduce the next guest I've got coming on. So I have got James Rowe coming on, who is the managing director of the Recruitment Experts. I need to check the date because I didn't write it down, so you know we're live because I've forgotten to do something. It's going to be Wednesday the 3rd of September. Normal time, 12:30. And he's going to be coming on to talk about the true cost of setting up on your own, because there's lots of people that want to go and set up on their own as a sole business owner, work on their own, do recruitment, but a lot of people don't understand the cost of what goes into it, the money, the financial backing that you need to have to make it work. So a lot of businesses don't last past that first year. So that's going to be super helpful, and he'll be joining me. So the event will go live next week, and you'll have all the info for that then. But David, I'm going to come back to you again for a really top tip. It sort of feeds into what I just asked you, but your top tip around this was just give it a go. Talk to me about this one quickly.
100%. Just what I said. You have to. First and foremost, nobody cares, right? The first few videos that I did, yeah, of course, you got your mates or whatever who don't understand LinkedIn or recruitment or any of that stuff, who do completely other jobs, are going, what the fuck are you doing on LinkedIn right now? What is all this nonsense? But now they're the ones saying, Dave, I only go on LinkedIn to check if you've done a video, right? So they'll change the tune very quickly. But yeah, it's very, very hard to say this, but you've got to not care what people think. Of course, your colleagues, they're probably jealous that they didn't do it and you're doing it and you're getting these little bits of engagement and you're getting a candidate coming to you asking for a job and whatever. And they're probably then going to start to do it because you've kind of inspired them almost, maybe. So the main thing is just got to give it a go. It's not for everyone, don't get me wrong. But if you think about doing it and think that you should, just give it a go. Just do one. And if you do give it a go, send it to me. I like it. Maybe I can get a little bit of engagement going for you as well.
You can steal the idea.
Yeah. Well, steal my ideas. Absolutely. You're welcome to any of those ideas on my LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever it may be as well. More than welcome.
And I was going to say, because we're coming to the end now, so what I was going to encourage everybody to do that's watching, if you haven't already, is connect with David, because you can go through all his videos and steal his ideas, but take some inspo. Remember that when David started doing the videos, he wasn't like he is now. So the only way, this is the one thing I say to people, the only way you're going to get confident is by doing it. You're not just going to wake up and be confident, get in front of the camera. So you mentioned you've got TikTok as well. If people want to find you on there, is it a work one or?
No. So it's that recruitment fella.
Okay. So if they want, two ways, the best ways would be TikTok and LinkedIn to watch your videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so at the moment. TikTok's a little bit trend focused and a little bit too quick for me. Like I don't do enough, so I'm thinking of kind of shifting that to Instagram. But I'll certainly announce that on my LinkedIn if I do. But the main place for me still is going to be LinkedIn. So do get in touch. Any advice that you want, or you want me to have a look at something before you post it. Not that I'm any kind of visionary on this kind of thing, but if you just want a second pair of eyes on it, feel free to send it over.
Send it over. But yeah, definitely connect with David. But to everybody that's watched today, I know we've had loads of comments come in that we haven't had time to cover off, so me and David will jump in after and have a look at them. But thank you so much to everyone for watching. Any questions about the video stuff, just fire it at David. Remember to connect with him, and I will see you, I was going to say October the 3rd, on September the 3rd for when I've got James Rowe on. But thank you for coming on, David, and everyone else will see you soon.
Thanks for having me. Cheers, Kate.